Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So as you likely know, August 1st has come and gone, and with that, we have gotten the addition of Oklahoma. So I thought, what better way to continue in the Back to Basics series and kind of the whole point and the premise of what was happening here, which is that we don't have to wait for maps to be updated or anything. We can just dive in and go. So I'm probably going to do a couple short runs today. I'm just basically going to try to take things from one city to the next, just so we get a little bit of exploration here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one here from Oklahoma City to Ardmore. So the benefit of driving as a contractor is obviously that I don't have to be in a location or have to go specifically from where I was at. Now the nice thing was they gave us Oklahoma City as something we can start from. Otherwise I would have had a bit of a challenge because I'm limited to 250 miles, and Denver, which is the closest place I've been to or can get to, because actually I don't think... Did she say turn left? I think she did. That was the closest thing I can get to, and... Oh, okay, I guess that's not what she said. Well, we're getting a little bit of tour of Oklahoma here, right? I've driven briefly through Oklahoma, but, you know, not much that I know about it, other than it's north of Texas. It's got a panhandle. It's definitely got a unique shape amongst states, so it's pretty easy to figure out. So there's some features in the 148 update too that I do enjoy, such as the state information, and then if there's photos, they separate the gallery photos. I don't take a lot of photos, so I don't know that that's going to matter at this point, but it's nice to know that they've kind of thought of things that way. But yeah, the challenge is going to be, like, I don't know any of the locations, or can say, oh wow, look at that. Well, there's a high school over there. I don't know that I can say I've seen something like that. That's pretty nice. Oh, and there's a middle school. So definitely in some areas, although Oklahoma City is obviously, I'm sure, arguably one of the largest cities that exists. I like that. ATS Bank, American Truck Simulator Bank. So I do have real company and so forth loaded here, but it may not work in this area. So it'll be interesting. I mean, we do have a Hooters billboard there, so some things are, some things aren't, but I would have expected the gas station to have changed over. So this is the new... oh, it's a Western Star. Okay, I thought it was the new Freightliner, but it is not. Alright, so... Well, I'm standing here turning left. I think that's beeping at me for having the signal on for a long time, but... How did we get to 11 a.m. already? It was... Oh, I guess it was 9 Pacific time, so... Obviously Oklahoma's over in Central Time, I think. Might be in Mountain Time in some areas. Let's see, where is my... I can't tell. Oh, I see the little arrow indicator. So 55, 60, 65, so... Okay, 65 is as far as I can go. So Ardmore is just 48 miles. So not very far at this point. So we should be there in no time flat. We're capped at 65, which is fine. It gives us a little more time to enjoy the scenery, right? Now this is interesting, because usually a lane that long and moving over, not pretty common in ATS. So that's a unique Oklahoman feature. I will say, you know, some of this, the bouncing around of the truck is a little bit different too. And I don't know if that's a physics change in 148. You know, I haven't touched any settings. I know there's things like anti-lock brakes and whatever. I haven't done anything with those. At this point, I just jumped in the truck and drove. I like that non-used billboard. Like kind of just old and hey, nobody's paying any money to advertise. So that's pretty sweet. But like anything with any of these maps with SCS, I mean, from the little bit we've seen here, they've certainly done a good job. Like the blocked off road there over there, off to the side, like a farming road or something like that. But Oklahoma, I would think, is relatively flat. I mean, obviously we're cutting through some rocks and things there.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Alright. So, here's the Ardmore exit.
Right.
Let's see.
Get ready to turn right.
Just trying to think if we've had the signs for like all the different gas stations and all that on exits before in other states. I'm not sure that we have. That's a pretty sweet addition, if it is an addition. But, and if it's been there, then shame on me for not noticing it, but... Alright, so we're out here. We've got a pretty big, so there's Walmart. That's where we're headed. So like I said, obviously some of the companies are getting replaced,
Right.
but the gas stations seem to be not working.
Right.
That's what I had noticed before. So this is like a giant Walmart distribution center. So that's pretty nice. Wow, that is like a fancy sign. So this is definitely... Oh, and look at those icons, like the gates. Oh, start security check. Well, that's new. I don't know if that's a 148 thing or just delivery points here, or this delivery point in Oklahoma. That's pretty nice. So I wonder if you like can't get in here if you're not ready to, or not authorized. But yeah, this is, I like this because this is like, you know, this gives you that feeling of mass and just really large location. So like a real, you know, distribution center. So let's see, we need to get in there. Again, in this series, I'm trying to stay in cab. So I am going to back up in cab and hope that we'll be good. Let me straighten myself out a little bit more. So the trick will be just really judging if I'm in good shape or not. I mean, I can see the markers on the ground there. I gotta get past this pole. Can't quite tell. I better slow down. See, like I can't see if that trailer's in good shape or not, because I think I need to just keep doing what I'm doing. And now maybe go ahead, straighten it out. We'll keep an eye on the mirrors there. Alright, let me pull forward a bit here so that I can, again, kind of straighten myself out. So I want to go this way. So we'll get that, and then we'll slowly ease our way back here. And then hopefully kind of straighten out, and that should... hold on. Whoops. Alright. So we have made it. Let's pull up a little bit, because I think I bumped the dock. Alright, so definitely, again, a nice short little delivery, but got us to level 6 enthusiast. So that's certainly a good thing. Now, I've been trying to do hazmat, but I think... what should I do? I don't know that I want to drive much longer right now, so let's see. We've got... yeah, I think flammable solids is a great one to add. You know, and obviously we've got some new special transports. 3 cities in Oklahoma. Alright, so while we're in between, let's just take a quick look at some of the new items that they've added. So they have cities in the gallery, as we mentioned. So like here you can see, you know, California, we haven't discovered anything there, but then you can pick by state here. So we've got a couple cities in Idaho, Nevada, you know, Texas, Oklahoma, and so forth. So, you know, we're here. If we go to Oklahoma City, what this will do is in the gallery, you're able to see the opening cutscenes now for cities you visited. So in the past, in the game, you got to see this basically as you started a profile, but that was it. You had one shot per profile. So you picked a city, and then you got to see any unique cutscene that existed for that. Now, because, you know, and I agree with their logic, like, they put the effort into putting these things together, like, let people enjoy them. So, again, I've not been to Oklahoma City. I've seen it a little bit. You know, it's like any other Midwest city, I think. I like Oklahoma on the retaining wall there. And there's a good amount of distance between, it's like a parking lot or something. Alright, so I think it's starting over. But you can see, like, I have to get to those cities, and so obviously here we're just seeing the cities that have unique beginnings or unique videos. You know, so you go there and then you hit enter. And so you can also just scroll through them this way. But this also is nice that it gives you a quicker way to do it. The other thing I like about this is you have all the viewpoints by state. So if you don't know where the viewpoints are, this helps you find them, which is also very nice. So obviously you'll have to get somewhere. I'm not sure that I did any viewpoints. No, so we have a couple here in Utah, for example. So yes, the Bingham Canyon Mine, I remember that one, and the oil fields of Utah. Ah, the salt flats. This is where lots of speed records have been set and so forth. But, you know, this lets you see all those things that exist within the game. So I'm not sure that this is a new feature, but the company browser is definitely a really interesting thing. So for example, I know I've shared that I really like hazmat because that's what I specialize in my VTC. So let's say we pick potassium here. So on the map here you can see all the locations that you can do that from, and so these are the export and the imported. So these are, you know, this in Enid and Tulsa and Idabel, you've got people who are both sending out loads and receiving them, where here in Gaiman, you're just only sending material there. But, you know, potassium can go to and from all these places. You can then say, well, I want to look at ethane, so forth. You know, and more importantly, too, like this is lighting up this trailer type. So that will do that, where, you know, if I turn that off, like fireworks, for example, have to go likely in a dry van. I mean, they probably could go on a flatbed too or something, but so I like this feature. If you've not seen it before, hopefully it's interesting to you. So the last feature that was of interest to me that was just a nice quality of life change is here with the Explorer. You can tell by state now what you've discovered. So you can see, like, we've got 16% of the roads in Oregon, almost 10% of the roads in Utah and Washington. Obviously here in Oklahoma, we're just starting out. But this helps with map exploration. So let's go find another job here. Alright, I think this is as good as any. So we're going to take these office supplies from Walmart to Alice Cars, which is obviously something unique here to Oklahoma, I think. It's a new business that obviously modders wouldn't have known about yet, and so we're not getting a real company for that. Alright, so here we are at the Walmart distribution center where we came in. We'll just have to head out here. And so this one's, again, not incredibly long, because the two together should give us a pretty good example and a good start out here in Oklahoma. And maybe next episode, maybe we'll take a little bit longer one where we go back through Oklahoma City and go a little farther. Alright, so these Walmart guys definitely doing the security check both ways. Making sure we're not taking any goods we shouldn't, or showing up where, again, we shouldn't.
Keep left, and then turn left.
Alright, which would make sense, because we've got
Turn left.
the edge of the map with the blockers there. Alright. Couple things coming along here. Oh, another truck moving. Goodness, there's more traffic here in Oklahoma than anywhere else. Now there's someone coming from the other direction. I cannot make this work. We'll get out of here eventually, I promise. Alright, no one's coming from there. I think we can finally go. So yeah, on any map, it's certainly a bit of a challenge just to understand what is unique and what you're seeing, things like that. So, you know, I think it's just enjoying the location. But to me, like, most of ATS looks pretty good. I know they've done additional things in Texas DLC with 1.48. I think they added, they said, like 500 miles, if I remember correctly, of road. And most importantly, they added the High 5 interchange, which is one of the more famous interchanges probably in the country, let alone Texas. Alright, let's see. I can't, again, tell, because this is a truck, a Volvo, and I don't know. There we go. Okay, so I can set the cruise there, and then we'll go from there. So that will work. But we've obviously got a bit of a unique way to get there. It looked like we kind of went down south. It was almost like a half of a square or something to get over there, so that'll add some distance. So kind of a traditional cloverleaf interchange, definitely probably one of the more common things in areas where there is space in the US to do it. I think this is a much more rare interchange in Europe, just because everything is so much more congested compared
Exit right.
to the open spaces that we're used to here in the US. And of course, we have a detour. So,
Exit right.
I guess we'll see where it takes us. But spilled a bit of the pipes off of that. So, now this will become a longer run. And that is always the challenge. So one of the other things they've updated, which I didn't show, is they now have numbers in the slider indicators when you're setting your options and things, so that you can much more directly set and make sure you know what your settings are, as opposed to just kind of eyeballing things and figuring out where things are at. So there's the Taylor billboard. Oh, there's a trooper park there, checking us for speeding, but we're not even going the speed limit here. So we're doing everything we can, but it's not going to get us in trouble, except I might if I weave around the road like that. So a lot bigger median in the center between both sides. As you can see, the oncoming lanes are quite a ways away. This is again also not uncommon where there's more space to just give more runoff, things like that. It's an improved safety feature, I think, in some cases, and in the engineering of the roadway. You know, where right now you've got to then have good catch fence and so forth to avoid vehicles going across and creating a head-on collision situation. It's getting warmer. It's now 90 degrees. That is certainly something that would be pretty common in Oklahoma, is heat. The Red River. Alright, welcome.
Right. And then
Oh,
exit right.
interesting. So we're going to Texas. So we've crossed the border here.
Exit right.
Are we just, is it just turning us around? It may be. So we'll see what it tells us.
Go straight and then keep left.
Alright, where's it going to take us? Alright, so it's just moving us left. Because, yeah, it may have been up there, and then we would have gone that way, but we weren't able to do that. So normally when you hit the M key to back out, it just takes you right back out, but it like reloaded, which was strange. I don't know if that's new, or maybe I don't normally do it that way. I'm not sure, but we're gonna go this way for a bit. So now we're in Texas. You know, and the thing is, some of these mods that I have for realism, or real companies and so forth, like Texas was obviously just released before Oklahoma. You know, along with Montana was relatively recent as well. So it's possible that these things have to be updated for each state. I'm not sure exactly how they work. So I might need to take a look at those and see if I've got any new additions. So you've got those stoplights that are sideways. I think they prefer those, obviously for clearance, but also I think it improves stability if you've got, you know, storms or wind. And obviously out here in the Great Plains, we're getting into Tornado Alley here. Oklahoma's definitely something big. Ooh, that car does not look good. You know, lots of potential tornadoes and stuff, and so you don't have swinging streetlights that can then become projectiles. You know, it would obviously have to pull that whole pole off and stuff, so it's not foolproof, but, you know, it should make things a little better. The Walmart, no sales tax, so that's something common in this, more in the South, I think, than in the North, are sales tax holidays around back to school time. So that would be what that August 17th and 19th date is. You know, given that the game is kind of perpetually in the June time frame, I think it's basically set at the summer solstice, June 21st, 22nd, so that you have the most daylight. You know, it's a little early to be advertising it because that's almost 2 months away, but it seems to make sense. But, you know, maybe they just did it because they knew they were releasing on August 1st, and that certainly seems very timely to be seeing some sort of a billboard like that for just 2-3 weeks away. Alright, so speed's up to 70. I probably can get out of this left lane. I probably really should do that. I was going to say, we're already here exiting, so look at that. We're in Texas, and it's now 97 already. Alright, so Dallas would be south, because that would keep us in Texas, and then Durant is likely. Could be Texas, too. I don't know. Maybe, I'm like, maybe that's Oklahoma, but they're probably both Texas. So, and again, big interchanges. So this is one way. You can see the do not enter sign by my A pillar over there. So we have to basically get to the next light to be able to turn left, which I'm sure is where we're going to go. And that will move us back into Oklahoma. So Durant is that way. Again, it could still be Texas, but may not be. Now this is one of those, sometimes there's a rule that you could turn left on red. It's probably not worth testing. Because at this point, obviously, it's a one-way street, so it's kind of a curb lane for all intents and purposes. I was worried about that wall, and I still nicked it. I nicked it pretty nicely, honestly. It wasn't just a slight hit there. By the time I realized what was happening, I'm like, wait a minute, I need to swing out further. So, sorry to Walmart for... I see. So, we just have to get on here. These cars are not yielding. So we're basically kind of switching from one interstate to the next. It almost looks like a Zaxby's, but I don't think that's what I'm seeing. Because obviously they wouldn't have that in the game, and that's not something that is normally updated. Alright, so we've got a vehicle inspection station. I think we're crossing into Oklahoma here, so, yep. So this will be a new map way station. Might be impressive. Let's see what we see here. Definitely a different layout here. Normally they're very close to the road. There's more space here. You can see that nice building out to the right. Get our first view of the Oklahoma state flag. Looks like an Indian thing in it. I don't know the state flag of Oklahoma. So stop before pulling on the scale, huh? Alright. He is taking his sweet time to get out of here. That is for certain. Alright. Alright, so the gross weight. Nothing fancy there, but the return to highway sign is nice. Alright. Otherwise we're going to get a warning about the turn signal again, so turn it off for a second there and then re-engage it. He should let me in. But this should take us up in the direction we want to go. But this is, okay, Choctaw Road. Choctaw is a Indian tribe, so maybe we're on the reservation here, so that might be like an Indian casino. So we could be passing through an Indian reservation, I'm not sure. Amazon Fresh. Got some groceries in there. But this will get us through in the daylight at least. Next ones will start going into the evening, next episode, but interesting, a little bit off-kilter cloverleaf there, so definitely the ramp on the one side there on the left is quite small, really squeezed in. So West Main Street, there's Durant, but I don't think that's where we were going. Welcome to Durant. Yeah, now I'm going to have to look in the other states, because these blue attraction signs and then the signs at the exit to show which way to go, I think that's added in here for Oklahoma. So I don't know that they existed in other states, but like I said, maybe I'm just crazy and they've always been there. So I think they've done a really good job, as always, on just the scenery. I mean, the trees feel real. They're fleshed out well. I don't feel like, we've got the excavators up on the hill, the construction. Those are the things I like, is they kind of put just little features here and there that give you something to look at and something to comment about. So we've got like a cell tower, I'm thinking, coming into view there, so that's nice. Smokestack over on the left, so some kind of factory. Doesn't look like one that we're able to deliver to. It's just there. And that's usually what you don't get in a modder doing a map. They're just trying to get the map done. They're not adding all these extra things. So, interesting. This one says a toll road. So, I wonder if they have toll booths along it. So, maybe one of these days we'll get to see that. Alright. And it's almost like, is he stopping? He crossed that line a little more than I liked. Alright. So whoa, really? Darn. Got a speeding camera, got me. Ugh. I was hoping to clear the violations, and here we go. And I should have noticed, because I'm like, there's exits here. Like, this is just going to end. Which is also a common feature in the U.S., where high-speed roads, the highways will just end. You'll be exiting off, and usually there's some sort of a sign that says, we'll end defending our freedom. So a lot of missiles or bombs, so I don't know if they make them here, or if they, if there's a base here. But McAllister, Oklahoma. Alright, so I'm thinking next Yeah, so right here, I think. And so, yeah, a lot of frontage road
Turn right.
type of things, so that's also not uncommon, but
Turn left.
unique. So, okay, Alice Cars there. Oops, wrong direction. I had turned the wheel.
Get ready to turn right.
Oh, a little bit of construction.
Turn right.
Looks like they're putting some pipe in there. They got a trench dug. Must be a sale coming up soon. They got all kinds of fancy things. Alright. Where do they want this? I think it's around the back. So let's head behind the building. And we'll see. Alright, so right there. So this is going to be an interesting one too, to try to position properly. So I really need to straighten this out so that I'm not wasting time as I back up. But again, at least I can see where I'm going out the window here. It's not a blindside parking job, so that will be good. Alright, let's cut that. I can always fix it up later if I need to, although there is a building pretty close there, so I suppose I want to be careful with that. So get this continuing straight back. And just get that cut enough here. I think that'll work. I think I'm getting a little too close to the building. So let me pull it out a bit. Then we'll try it again. That should give us a bit more room. There we go. I think we'll be all right now. Now it's just straightening it out enough. Alright, let's pull it up a bit, reposition, and then I should be able to cleanly get in there now. Oop, a little too much, but that should work now. There we go. So we've got our office supplies delivered. So 180 miles, that's a pretty good size run. 381, give us a nice chunk there. But we're doing pretty well. Because I don't own my own truck, I can't at this point compete in this cruising Oklahoma. I may end up doing that just in a side profile somewhere just to get the rewards. I'm not sure that it's anything that I'd want. Usually it's paint jobs and things on the trucks that are of interest to me. I don't really do a lot of the cabin accessories and things like that, but I'll probably take a look. They're running it through October, so it's possible that we may get to the point where I do own a truck, and then we can run around, but we may have done so much Oklahoma by then, because I'm sure people would like to see Oklahoma, so I don't want to not do it now, because it's prime time to get some folks to come over and see what we've got. But that should give us enough here. We've seen basically 3 cities. If you think about it, we started out in Oklahoma City, then we went down to the one, I don't even know, Ardmore or something, something. I'll stop guessing. Let me go here. Yes, it was Ardmore. I was right. And then over to McAllister. So there's 10 cities in Oklahoma. So not huge. Certainly not a Texas. But probably right up there. So Kansas is coming next. They haven't announced anything beyond that, but I mean, obviously, logically, they'll go up here to Nebraska and to the Dakotas at that point. But we're getting close. we got the Mississippi River over here, so we're going to start hitting those states at some point. Question is, are they going to drop back down to Louisiana and Arkansas, or are they going to head over and just hit Minnesota quickly once they go up? So what I am hoping, and I don't know that we're going to get this, but they basically made some comment that has the word 3 in it as far as a teaser for an announcement. It would be great if they would release all 3 states together. You know, I'd like to start seeing bigger packs, that, you know, so that we get more of the map faster. The challenge is, though, like, you know, a lot of these states, once you're in here, Iowa, maybe even a little bit of Missouri. The thing is, there's like the Ozarks are down here in the bottom of Missouri, you know, and similarly, like in South Dakota, North Dakota, you've got like the Badlands, you've got some mountainous terrain still, along with the Great Plains and the mixture there. But some of these states could be very similar, where I would hope that maybe they can get them delivered or developed a little bit faster. And maybe all they're going to do is like announce that, hey, these are the next 3, but they did make a comment about 3. And yes, the comment is 3 times the charm when they did the teaser. And so my mind immediately went to, I know they have 3 more states to finish off after the announcement, and I think they have 3 map teams. So they may come out as independent states, but what they may end up doing is just saying, hey, Kansas is basically going to get delivered very quickly, maybe, and then basically they're going to then target getting all these states out together, even though they may be separate DLCs that you have to buy individually, which again I'm okay with. I mean, they need to get paid for what they're doing, but we'll see how that goes. But I'm always excited to get more of the U.S. You know, it's kind of looks the same from the cab of a truck to some degree. I mean, only the major things you'll see, but hey, it's something new. We've got somewhere to be. So I'll certainly do a little bit more in Oklahoma, and then we'll start moving around. But what I think I'm going to do in the series is I'm going to definitely get a tractor when I can do it. But I think I'm going to target a company and really focus on being a hazmat hauler. And I may go ahead and do something that I just haven't done and haven't really played that way, which is why I was excited about the company browser. Is I may buy some trailers for my company as well to be able to haul appropriate loads, and then we'll just kind of be looking for those kind of loads. So, you know, but that will help try to plan things out a little bit more and add some different focus in the gameplay here than I've done traditionally when I'm just was randomly driving around. So it'll give us a little bit of a purpose to work through here. But I've still got quite a ways to go, because I really need certainly to get a trailer, I need to get into 200,000. So, you know, I've got to do some stuff, and so maybe what we do is we start getting up to those 400-mile-an-hour hauls, and then at least in an episode we can get $10,000-$15,000 a load, and we can make a dent in things pretty quickly. So maybe what we'll do for our next skill upgrade point is increase our distance, and then maybe go back to opening up some of the hazmat stuff. But always open to feedback, so you got ideas, drop them down in the comments, and hopefully you've enjoyed this initial foray into Oklahoma. I will see you next time.